So the question was asked, so is there no way to have the satin lettering follow a curve? Absolutely, you can have satin lettering follow a curve. Let's check it out. So there are a couple of caveats. There's a few things you have to do to make it work. And the amount of curve that you're allowed to, or you can get away with using, is very dependent on which satin stitching or which satin font you pick. So I'm going to pick, to start off this little video, I'm going to pick this very basic Inkstitch small. It's fairly bulletproof. And we're going to type that. Don't add trims because you need to, once you're done curving it, you should do the object to path function. When you do that, you turn those trim objects into stitch objects. So don't add trims until after you've done your curve. And then you'll have to add your trims manually. But other than that, it's actually really easy. Here's my word. I just stretched it out and made it bigger. Like I said, this particular lettering is fairly bulletproof. So we're going to really mess with it. And to do this, all you have to do is do path effects. Once you're in path effects, make sure whatever you're trying to bend is selected. And you'll have this little plus button right here. So just select this plus button, right there's your bend. And you have bend path, and you can do different options on bend path. The one that I understand easiest is this edit on canvas one. That puts you a line right through the middle, that green line, and that's the green line that's going to determine your bend. And then when you click these end buttons, or the end nodes, I have the nodes edit path by nodes tool selected. So now I can use these particular handles to make sure that it's fairly even on both sides. So there's our bend. And we'll get a little bit crazier, but after you do your bend, make sure every single time you do Inkstitch, troubleshoot objects, if you still get all paths are valid, which we are here, the next thing you need to do is go path, object to path. When you do object to path, your bend goes away because it's no longer being bent. Now it's actually on this bent path. Control Z to undo. Now I just undid that object to path. Now I can go back in here, and again, Control Z is your friend. You can go back in here and edit that bend. You can undo the bend. You can actually hit this minus button and completely delete the bend. It no longer has the bends. And I'm going to go back to that. Go back to bend. That bend. Now let's get a little bit crazier. I'm going to bend this way up. I'm going to grab this node right here, and that gives me the handle like you saw me use before, but I'm going to grab this handle and crank it way down. So now I have a roller coaster of a bend in my wording. And the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to grab this node and I'm going to just squeeze it a little bit closer. That puts everything a little bit closer together. Now, what I really want you to see is when you highlight over the letter, it's showing it still in the original path. And if I click on one of these, like this one, there it is originally. There's the curve of the H originally. So that's why you do object to path. That's why you have to do troubleshoot to make sure that you didn't pull something too far out of whack that it can understand what's going on. Now, I have pulled this one too far out of whack for it to understand what's going on. Now, if I wanted to go in here and fix it, it'd be difficult because my fix is over here. I can't really tell what's going on. So the easiest thing to do is to just delete that troubleshoot layer and then undo whatever. Actually, you don't have to delete the troubleshoot layer, because as soon as you undo, it's going to get rid of the troubleshoot layer. So now I'm back to this effect. So let's see if this effect will troubleshoot okay. This one still troubleshoots as valid. It was when I squeezed it together pretty extreme that it got a problem. So this one is okay. So we're going to go ahead and go path and object to path. I no longer have a bend effect because we forced it to use the bend path as its path. So there you go. Not sure if you know this or not, but you can actually have your Inkstitch lettering object selected, and then you can go to extensions, Inkstitch lettering, and you can change the font. Whatever you typed in there is in there because you're working on that current object, even though I've bent it. Now, when I go to select a new font, and it doesn't matter which one, we'll just take one at random. I'm going to hit apply. And it got rid of my bend because it's creating these words or these letters into words dynamically on its own path. So I'm going to shrink that way down. And then we're going to do the path again. It's selected. I have path effects right here, so all I have to do is hit plus. If you lose it, it's just path effects. Make sure the layer or the object that you want to bend is selected, and then just hit this plus right here. And I'm going to hit this edit on canvas again because that's the way I understand it. And I'm going to grab that handle. I'm going to do that same loop-de-loop effect. Now we can do extensions Inkstitch Troubleshoot. Rung doesn't intersect rails, and that's this one here. We could probably fix a little easier than the other one. We're going to try to fix this one. I'm going to get rid of that troubleshoot. And in order to fix this, the only way I can fix this is I need it to be on this actual path. I'm going to go path, object path. So I'm going to do another troubleshoot. Oh, that was it. That was all it took. So if you have little minor things here and there, you might be able to fix those just like I did. And again, you saw that the other font that I used, it was fine with this little up and down bend, but this font had a minor issue come out of it. So it really depends on which font are you using and how much are you bending it. And I'm bending it quite a bit on this. And I did think about putting a Monjaro logo here and a Ubuntu or the penguin here. I'm not sure, but I'm thinking about it. I might, if I do that, I'll show that video too. That is Inkstitch lettering bending in a nutshell. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. and I will try my best to answer them. I don't get to everybody, but I try. As always, till next time, thanks for watching.